Testing, testing. Wait a minute. Testing, testing. Hello. Let's see if this works. Testing, testing. Um, Today, I made a promise that I was going to be talking about the 3 lessons I learned that I could have done differently before quitting medicine. And today, I'm leaving one of them. I am pretty tired. It has been an exhausting week where the visit of my friend, my brother Rafael, coincided with 2 webinars that I had to run, one last Tuesday, one next Thursday. And today I'm so tired and exhausted. I really should end my day. But instead, I'm here because we physicians are trained to work through pain. And the topic of the day is listening to your own voice. Last time we were talking, I told the story about my decline from oncology, a meeting with my business partners when I had the feeling we are going the wrong direction. But I didn't speak up when I said something and I was shut down. I didn't insist again. And I believe that that's what's happening today to me. Wherever you go, you bring yourself with you. I am defaulting again to the way we are taught to live during medical school and medical training. And don't get me wrong, it's a great thing to be strong and resilient. It is great to be able to tolerate pain and discomfort and continue going, working, pushing through. And yet, my mother used to say, any virtue you exaggerate becomes a defect. And any defect you are able to moderate becomes a virtue. If you ever met a physician, or if you are a physician, you know how it is. We learn to work through pains, sleep deprivation, hunger. It doesn't matter we're sick. The favorite joke among my clients is, how many times did you have a full bladder, but you held it in and refused to go to the restroom? We learn to dissociate in a very similar fashion as PTSD patients dissociate from trauma. We physicians, and that applies to many other high functioning women in the world, we learn to ignore our needs, ignore our pain in order to perform. And when that becomes a habit, it becomes a problem. Because if you are not listening to the pain, you're also not listening to the joy or the cognitive harmony, cognitive dissonance metal detector that allows us to make decisions. So, I have a few questions for reflection for you today. Do I inhabit my body or do I disconnect from my body? Am I ignoring discomfort? Am I working through pain? Am I ignoring the fact that maybe it's time for lunch? Am I pushing away from my awareness things that I need to address and hurt me, but that I am burying myself in work to avoid facing them? That is a tricky thing to reflect about. Someone would say, well, in Spanish, there's a saying that say, if your eyes don't see, your heart won't feel. What you don't know cannot hurt you, I guess is the closest translation. And you almost want to be careful not to destabilize the balance of someone who has been relatively happy. You can see their suffering, you can see they're in denial. Perhaps you see that their partner is cheating on them, to do a concrete example, but they are forcing themselves to work on something they hate, but they have created a mythology, a legend in their mind that they are happy where they are. That is something that should not be touched. uh, Everything in life are stories we make. we can make a happy story about a sad situation, and that's the closest thing to healing. When you say, yes, that bad thing happened to me in my life, but it made me a better person. Like my cancer made me realize I needed to embrace life and not postpone happiness. My experience with a mother who died early pushed me into a career of service and healing. We all have the control of our stories and what we decide to believe. But look at the difference. That is conscious. That is a conscious decision, as opposed to denial and ignoring something that's causing us pain. There was, I don't know if that's still in fashion, but I remember when learning behavioral science, there was a big difference between denial or repression, actually, the word repression and the word suppression. Repression was an immature mechanism of defense in which we forget, completely erase from our minds painful memories. And they cannot hurt us, but the problem is that we cannot heal them when they are suppressed. They can, out of the blue, resurface when you least expect it, as a flashback, as a painful memory, as a undescribable feeling of shame. And while you are refusing to, or unable to access the memory, you're unable to heal it. Suppression, on the other side, is conscious. You make a decision that that was painful, I know it, but I will not focus on that. I will focus on something else. That is a healthy mechanism of defense. And that is, I am absolutely in favor of that. That is what a client I talked to yesterday was doing. She had 50 patients to see because her partner quit and the new partner hadn't started yet. And yet she said, I am grateful because each patient I see is someone I'm connecting with, is someone who's reminding me how lucky I am for being healthy. That is a beautiful, active, conscious way to modify your environment. So, my invitation for you is to practice that conscious awareness of what you want and what you don't want. It is beautiful to say, I'm smiling through the pain, or I am working besides the pain, as long as you know you are doing it and you are conscious of that. So, returning to my story of the end of my medical career, that day I was in a meeting with my partners. We were brainstorming ideas about buying a new piece of equipment, and everybody was talking about all the wrong values. We need to get the best piece of equipment, so we shame the competition. We want to be top in the county. No, we need the cheapest piece of equipment because I don't want to stop receiving bonuses. And something inside me told me we are in the wrong path. We are forgetting about the values that created this company, what's best for the patients, what's the best quality of care, what's best for our staff. And when I spoke and they shut me down, I immediately shut up and proceeded to ignore that voice for the next 5 years. What should I have done differently? From if I was able to be truly happy, if it was true that I was just focusing on what's right and ignoring what was wrong, I should have felt peaceful, but I didn't. And that is the difference between suppression and repression. If you are in the right place, doing what is right, yes, days are going to be hard. You're going to be have good days and bad days, but you will have periods of clarity in which you know I'm in the right place. This is right. If you are suppressing, if you're repressing something that is against your values, if you know you should be doing something that you're not doing or confronting something you're not confronting, that will bring you cognitive dissonance. My proposal, what I want us to do more of, is to reconnect with our bodies and to be able to listen to that cognitive dissonance and that cognitive harmony. Am I really happy, or am I smiling through the tears? Am I really meaning it when I say I'm joyful or grateful for my situation, or do I feel I'm lying to myself? That becoming brutally honest with yourself, to know when you are bullshitting yourself or not, and that allowing yourself to speak the brutal truth to yourself if you are not in cognitive harmony, is what I wish I would have done more of before quitting medicine. If I could speak to my old self, what would I tell her? What do I tell her how to get started? I would strongly recommend my older self to start debriefing, journaling, free consciousness writing about what's in your head. I am sad about this. I am angry about this. I am disappointed about that. I am scared about this. I regret this. Reconnecting with what you are feeling really, the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth should be the top of the page for that journal entry. And doing that regularly will always open the channels of communication with yourself. And there is a lot of peace that comes from speaking the truth to yourself. How to prevent that from becoming an exercise, a depressing exercise in negativity? After you are done venting and journaling, translate what you don't want into what you want. Back then, in those days, I would have said something like, I don't want to work in a place where the decisions are made first about money before what's good, best for the patient. How do I translate that? I need to know that's in my mind before I can address it. Then translating to the opposite. I want to work in a place where the values are in order, where the patient's benefit, the patient's health is the number one priority. I don't want to work for a place that is cheap with money and is trying to cut corners and bring low quality equipment to patients. I want to work with excellence. I want to work in a place where quality of care and doing our best possible job for the patients is a priority. Professionalism, excellence, commitment to quality. And one more, I don't want to work in a place that dismisses me, that ignores my opinion. When I try to express what I'm thinking, I'm shut down. Translating that to the opposite, I want to work in a place where I feel my other partners are my equals, where I have a saying, where I can speak my mind and express my opinions. In summary, if I could tell my old self something, the first lesson I would tell her to do to try to save the relationship with medicine before quitting would be reconnect with your true voice. Open the channels of communication through journaling, through debriefing, through exploring what you're feeling, taking some time to process the day in writing, which, by the way, is a great defense against burnout because it protects you from PTSD, from having unprocessed memories, like it happened to me with some traumatic oncology cases. At the end of your debriefing, end by translating what you don't want into what you want. That gives you clarity of intention. And the moment you set a clear intention, you are already enrolling a larger areas of your unconscious brain and even unseen forces in the universe to direct your attention toward the solution. Well, this was a completely unplanned, unprepared conversation for a Friday. I hope this helped you. If you have questions, if there's anything you want to ask or share, send me a message. You can always reach me at joyfullysuccessfulcoaching@gmail.com or my official email, diely, at joyfullysuccessful.com. And that's also my website where you can learn more about me or you can ask for a apply for a complementary clarity session, a complementary coaching session. I hope you have a great rest of the week or a great weekend, and I will